blastmusic247.com. We're changing the industry one artist at a time.
Hello, my people. Good morning. Welcome to my podcast, Your Realtor and Sneakers. It is Wednesday, June 12th. June 12th at 10 o'clock a.m. Central Time. And we have the VP of Blast Music, 247 Music.
Blast Music 247, yes.
See, I know it. I just get it all mixed up every time. 247 Music, Blast, 247 Music. I just get it mixed up. But here we have Mr. Troy joining today. Thank you guys for being patient and understanding. For those that do watch, I know that it's been a little rocky journey for me. You know, I never had a podcast before, and I didn't realize that you really do need to prioritize and take the time out to prepare for it. But I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep rocking, and I'll keep getting better
as
right. Time goes on. So today last week and the week before, Troy and I, after the podcast, he always throw questions at me, as he says, picking my brain. But we were speaking about USDA loans. And so that's where the idea came to, kind of lightly touch on the different mortgage loans that are out there for us people. So I'll be touching on FHA, VA, USDA, and conventional loans.
Indeed.
So, for one, either loan, have your money right. We talked about that the week before last with Stacy. Get your money right. It's nothing like having the funds for oopsies and wasn't expecting this type of thing. You might look up, get a loan, zero down. You got to have 1,000 credit score, but you may look up and say, hey, I didn't have to put anything down, but you just never know. Always be prepared. So that little stash, that savings, always have a cushion for the what ifs and uh-ohs, because it happens. Like in my situation, me and my husband, closing costs was around $4,000. We were like, hey, woo-woo. We got some spare money to play with, when we purchased the home. And the appraisal came in lower than what the seller was asking. Mm-hmm. And he accepted the appraisal amount. However, he took his credits back. So a $4,000 closing cost turned into $10,000.
I was going to ask you about that. When it comes to closing costs, how much would you say someone should stash for closing? Is it a fair number?
I would honestly say for me, anywhere between. It just depends on your loan and the interest rate, but I would say anywhere between $10,000 to $20,000. Okay. I know it's a lot, and most of the time you probably won't need that much, just depending on what loan it is that you get approved for. But I mean, it's just safe. Especially if you're purchasing a pre-existing home, such as ours. We've been blessed, because my home was built in 1988. A lot of people don't think it because the previous owners, kind of upgraded some things or whatever. But it's scary. And we've been blessed that nothing dramatic has happened, knock on some wood somewhere around here. But you never know. We did have the whole termite situation that we were not expecting. That was $1,000 the day after closing because it had to get treated.
Dang.
So you just have to be prepared for the oops and the uh-ohs, the unexpected.
The one good thing is if you do have that large of a closing cost and it is way lower that you have to pay, you then have extra money that you can use for the house.
Absolutely.
So trust and believe there's going to be things you're going to buy, especially coming from an apartment to a home.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to want to buy stuff. So to have that extra cash would definitely be a blessing.
It would be a blessing. And then when you come from an apartment and you get in a home, and our home is not the biggest. It's only like a little over or a little under 1,900 square feet. The backyard is more square footage than the house. But it's crazy because living in an apartment for 3-4 years, and then you get in a house and then you put everything up and you say, how the heck did all this fit in that apartment? Once you kind of get everything, you know what I mean? You're like, all this fit in the apartment? Especially with my OCD self, I somehow, some way made it neat, and you wouldn't have never known. But it's so much. Like before we moved in, the kitchen was brown cabinets, and I was doing the best I could. So I came in and I painted the cabinets myself gray.
Okay.
I painted them gray, and so yeah, just to have that extra cash for little bitty things that you want to do. The big things will come. I still haven't got my floors. It's been 3 years. I wanted the kitchen remodeled. So I've learned that things take time, and it's your home. You own it. Yeah. And there's no need to rush into things just as time goes on. Like we're getting ready to get a slab put in the back of the house, for the patio. 3 years later, what I mean? But we're doing it at a time where we're able to do it.
Right. I do remember moving into my house and I didn't finish unpacking till about the third year. You just never realized, like you said, how much stuff you accumulated throughout the years. And it's but a home is definitely a whole different mindset, lifestyle change, everything. You name it, it is. It's nothing like it. The biggest frustration is moving from a house to an apartment, but it is what it is.
Yeah, and I thought about that because I say again, we never know what life is going to throw at us, and you never know. I mean, we can have a dream and a goal in our mind all day long to forever be in a home, but sometimes life throws curveballs, and I say that to myself. I hope God continues to sustain us. We don't have to ever be put in a position to have to move back into an apartment. But hey, we don't know what's in the cards for us. We just know that we'll do what we need to do to maintain, and whatever life brings, it brings. Long as there's a roof over your head, that's all that matters.
Yes,
but home ownership is I'm sorry, the dog is over here and I heard something at the back door, and Passion is upstairs. She's far away to go get, so just making sure. So but like I say, always have a cushion, and just for those uh-ohs, and that's just the most important thing. And not only that, you never know typically when you apply for a loan, they give you the estimate. You always want to get your loan estimate. And so that's going to give you a ballpark of what you'll need to put down based off of your pre-approval. You know what I mean? Your pre-approval letter. And then so things could slightly change just depending on the appraisal and, all of whatever the case may be. But for the most part, it typically remains the same once you get your closing disclosure. So again, you just never know. So it's a wonderful feeling to say, oh, on the loan estimate, you're going to need $8,000 down. And after everything is said and done, that, okay, I got that. but then something might transpire, and then you get your closing disclosure, and it says, you only got to put down 6. Yeah. Either way, just be prepared. Yeah. So FHA loans. FHA loans are not that difficult. Like I mentioned before, FHA loans typically requires a 580 for a typical, maybe like 3.5% down. Anything lower than 580, they typically require 10% down payment. It just all depends on your finances, the interest rate, all of that. Now, what I did find out, and I did not know, well, this is for Dallas County, but do know FHA loans do have a lot of people inquire about the down payment programs and the grants that FHA has, and there are quite a few out there. It is. I've never actually dealt with one. All I can say for those is be careful. There are a lot of stipulations, and just read the fine print. Because I'm going to go into this program, down payment program. Oh, they have these grants, and yeah, they do. But be real careful and pay attention and read the fine print, because you'll get caught and stuck. And one of these days, I'm going to have Wendy Malcolm, which is our in-house lender with Century 21 Cardinal Financial. She is amazing. I so much love her. She is so dope. Like, she's been in the game for a minute, and when I say that she knows the ins and outs and ends of the lending process, she's spoken at 2 of my first-time homebuyer seminars. She is amazing. There's not a question out there that she cannot answer. One thing I love about her is that she's going to keep it 100 as well. Because one of her biggest things is she doesn't want people to be house poor. And house poor is when they do anything in their power to get these people into these loans, and whether it just for a commission, I don't care what you have to do or what you have to submit. I just want you to get in this loan so I can get my commission, not thinking about the client and their well-being afterwards. Right. So yeah, you might get somebody in with I can get you in for a 2.3 or whatever. But in the end, it bites the client in the butt, because here you are, you moved into a home and now you're house poor. You have nothing, because your mortgages, you want to get into this home. They made it happen, but your mortgage is $4,000 a month. True. You know what I mean? So that's one thing she doesn't do. And she keeps it 100. She keeps it honest. I always tell my prospective clients, if you want to know where you stand, as far as your credit is concerned and all of that, I always, provide her information. She's always willing to let you know what you need to work on, just to save everybody time, because all of our time is valuable. Absolutely. And I'm not showing homes without a pre-approval letter. We're going to see 1 or 2 to get you motivated. Got to get you motivated. But until we get that pre-approval letter and you know what you can do and we know what you can look at, then that's it. And sometimes people just don't know where they stand. And prime example, I never qualified for a home. At that time I was 40, I'll be 49 next week. So I was 46. And I thought, I'll never be in a position to buy a home. And I did it. It's doable. Age doesn't matter. Race doesn't matter. None of that matters. You can do it. It's doable. You just got to sacrifice and do the things that need to be done. So because I did that, I knew what I had to work on. And it took me about 7 months to clear the things up on my credit that would hinder me getting approved for the FHA loan. So FHA loans are great. And again, they're very manageable, doable. What I found out was that so your the FHA allowance, the limit that they will loan someone. Now they don't break it down, to your credit score and your factor and your interest rate or nothing like that. But as of 2024, The limit for an FHA loan is $563,000. I think that's
a nice house. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I mean, and we're in Dallas, we're in Texas, where the homes,
True.
you can get a $300,000 home that looks like a mansion compared to anywhere else in the world. So I thought that was pretty dope. That for a duplex they allow $720,000, triplex is $872,000, and a fourplex is $1 million, a little bit over $1 million. So I think that's pretty good. With the FHA loan, you do have to keep in mind that you have to have MIP, which is mortgage insurance. There's no getting out of it. That's just an FHA thing. I should know better, but I did email them like last month because I'm tired of it, but I tried to get out of it. I finally, and if you want some cheap homeowners insurance, my homeowners, contact me, because my bro hooked me up with the guy, and I'm a AAA member. I had, let's say, the past 2-3 years, our homeowners insurance was $4,500. And I just got with AAA, and now our homeowners is $23. And the only reason why it's $23 is because I can't find the paperwork for the roof. The roof is new, and when I provide the paperwork showing that the roof was put on 2021, that's going to drop it down to $1,900 a year, which is amazing.
Yeah.
But that MIP ain't going nowhere. But I tried it though. Penny Mac was like, "No, ma'am." So you have to have the mortgage insurance with the FHA loan.
So you mean when you say mortgage insurance, that's not homeowners insurance. That's something totally different.
Correct. It's basically protecting the lender.
The money I give you should be protecting your behind.
You know what I mean? But it's mandatory. FHA loans, it has to be your primary residence in order to qualify. You can't get an FHA loan and say, "Ooh, I'm going to get this investment property," and not live there. It has to be considered your primary residence.
Gotcha.
And then, of course, you have to show your income. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's 2 years worth of employment. And it could change. It just depends on the situation or whatever. As long as it shows steady employment and steady income, you can have multiple jobs, just as long as you're showing that you got some steadiness going on there. I mean, I don't have any complaints about FHA loans. It's pretty cool. Just like I say again, try your best to up that credit score. If you need help with your credit, I got connections that'll get you going. It's not that expensive. It's worth it in the end. If you are not a patient person, because it is time consuming. This is why people charge what they charge to repair credit, because trust me, I used to do it, and you got to have some patience. And it's a lot. So people, why they charge so much? Because trust me, they're doing something that you would never want to do, and it can be tedious, but it's a lot. But it's worth it in the end, because you'll be on point. But the higher your credit score, the better you'll be. You ask me personally. So Texas does have a couple of the grant programs, and it's about maybe 5 or 6 of them. You can always look them up for those, the down assistance programs. For the VA, let's talk about what we talked about, Troy, which was the USDA loans. Yes. I know you had a couple of questions, and I had to go dig deeper since I've never dealt with one for you. So just I don't think they differ too much from state to state. Rule is rule. But USDA loans, again, has to be in a rural area. It cannot be more than I think it's 20,000 in population. I just find that weird, but I guess I'll have to.
Now, I'm wondering, do they actually, like, there's a family of 4, is it all 4, or is it the head of the house that's considered the one? You know what I mean? Like, how do they figure that?
Of the 20,000?
Yeah.
I know. Is it 20,000 including everyone in the home, or is it just the head of household?
Correct. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm going in the office today. So if Wendy's in, I'm going to ask her if she knows, like, why does it have to be just a limited population? I guess maybe because over 20,000 would be considered city. I don't know.
Very interesting.
It is. But for those, and then, to qualify, you have to meet their income requirements, and you cannot make more than 15% of the area, the income within the area.
Okay.
Which, yeah, that's I just feel like you're just stuck, because who's to say you move into the area, you get a USDA loan, and your income requirements, qualify you for it, and you get a big old promotion, a year later.
I don't think it disqualifies you after you pre-qualified, but I don't know.
It's a question that I wonder, because if I have to come in not being able to make 15% more than the households in the area, then, I mean, what happens when I do? What happens when I make 30% more? You know what I mean? So that's something I'm going to look into and say, why. And under those circumstances, if later on down the line I do, make 100 times more than the people in my area, what are you going to take the loan back?
That don't make no sense. Yeah.
No, at all. It does not. It does not. So in USDA loans, typically a little bit easier to obtain versus your your other loans. So I hope that answers some of your questions about the USDA.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that I personally think that that's a good investment, as far as purchasing in the rural area and investing. I really think it is.
Now, do you have to inhabit that house, or can you use a USDA to invest in a home?
No.
You have to live there?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah. Yeah, when you're ready to live that type of life. I'm still a city girl, so if I can't get to a Walmart in 10 minutes, we got a problem. I live in Wally World.
I got you.
Yeah, so then for your VA loans, one second. For your VA loans, let me turn my ringer off because y'all probably don't hear my phone going off over here. So the VA loans are awesome for our veterans and their family members and all of that. Great benefits. So the VA loan is a little bit easier for a veteran to obtain than any other loan. You don't have a down payment. It's zero down payment, but there is a funding fee for VA loans. So although a veteran or veterans, surviving family member or whoever can actually get the VA loan, you have to be prepared for a funding fee. Not a down payment, but a funding fee. Once you get your COE, which is your certificate of eligibility to get the loan, that's when you'll find out what the funding fee amount would be. And typically those are based off of it. I did not know, but your funding fee is going to be based off of what type of loan and the amount of the loan that they give you. It's crazy because if I can remember when we were looking for homes, we were looking in 2021 during that whole bidding war time, when it was crazy. Like, we was losing bids I almost gave up and said, let's just live in an apartment for another 2 years or so. I mean, it was crazy, but I know there was one home that someone won the bid because they had a VA loan. And of course that seller is going to go with that guarantee. You know what I mean? We know it's a guarantee. And if I'm not mistaken, speaking to the seller, because the seller happened to be home when we viewed it, I want to say that individual only had to pay, I think it was like maybe $600-700 funding fee, something like that. I don't know. I just was really shocked because I've never dealt with a VA. But I was shocked to know that you already have a 0 down payment. And then the funding fee is, I mean, it varies, but it can be as low as that.
Is that annually? Or is it a one-time?
It's a one-time. Yeah. So I know that shocked me too. And then so with the funding fee, it can either be worked into your loan, or you can just pay it flat out at the closing table, at the closing cost. So VA loans, they also, you can use that certificate over and over. You just have to make sure you do right and protect it. Let's say that you want to protect that certificate, the best that you can. I mean, I've seen situations even recently that individuals, utilize their VA loan, and then there's a spouse or, circumstances happen, and then the house goes into foreclosure, or the other spouse isn't paying what they're supposed to pay. And then now you're losing your VA privileges because of someone else, and you work hard for that. You fought for the country for that. And so that's just really something to consider when you're using your VA loan. Who are you using it with? Very important. So that's the VA loan. Now, what I learned that I didn't know about conventional loans. Now, we all know conventional loans were based off of individuals that dang near had perfect credit, right? A conventional loan, typically there was, really hardly no money down, but you had to have like an 800 credit score, and was typically easy to get when you had that status. But I did, 2024 is when everything was updated, and I read that there aren't as hard to get anymore. Now they're basing it off a 620 or higher credit score, which is not too far off from the requirements for a FHA loan. But you still have to have your income and your employment and all of that. But now they don't require the 20% down like they used to.
I guess they probably weren't getting a lot of love, because that's a big chunk of money.
Yes. So now they just basically, the 20% down days are gone, and having perfect credit is not so much a requirement when you're trying to obtain a conventional loan. And it's just your basic standard traditional qualification. So I was pretty shocked about that. But for the conventional, you have to have a minimum of 620, which is, again, a little bit higher than FHA. And depending on the lender, they might require a higher credit score. It all depends on what's on your credit. A lot of times they don't really pay attention to doctors, hospital bills, doctor bills. We all know the world that we live in today. We all know how tough it is to obtain medical insurance. And there's some of us out there that, just don't have insurance. I mean, luckily, when I left corporate world, I fell under my husband's insurance. But if I hadn't, you just get up and go to the ER and say, hey, I'll wait for that bill to come in the mail.
And that is never a good look.
It is never a good look. But at the end of the day, what do? Do you lay at home and die? Or do you say, let me go and get situated here, and I'll have to pay that expense back at a later date, as long as you pay it. But that's one of them. But I know that we're in 30 minutes, and I have just a little bit more to go on a conventional loan. So you can go ahead and introduce the artist of the week, and then we'll come back and finish off.
Awesome.
All right.
So the Blast Artist Spotlight for today, this is a good friend of mine. Her name is Demi Day, and this is called Be Like You. Let's check it out.
Everybody can't reach like, everybody can't dream like, everybody can't be like, everybody can't be like you, everybody can't reach like, and everybody can't dream like, everybody can't be like, everybody can't be like you. I understand you got your own thing going, merely on down the stream, you better keep on rowing. They try to knock your self-esteem, you better keep on glowing. Don't let nobody in between that future you be knowing. So here's my message to you. Ain't no person on earth that can outdo you. Be yourself until yourself, you'll be honored that you knew you. Only you can be a rock when it ain't no one else around. And if you don't love yourself, then the only way is down. But I believe in you, I see you got some dreams in you. Full speed ahead, I see you got some steam in you. Just keep chugging away, be grateful for every day that you get to bless the world with such a beautiful face. Let your shadow make the chase, let your heart dictate the pace. Let your mind give you the strength and let your spirit run the race. I bet your ancestors cheering, seeing the path you clearing. Nothing worth fearing, every lesson worth hearing. But every now and again they try to break you. Lean into them wounds even though they might be painful. And when they heal the scars, that's when you gon' see a breakthrough. I'm praying that you make do with every resource within your grasp. Multiply it forth and be generous with your math. Kindness in your hand, willing to understand that every single second you get is another dance. And every single moment you breathe is another chance to do something you love, to always rise above. Parting for the past, don't let that trauma beat you up. Be gentle with your mental and everything you done been through. End of the day, you're the reason I grabbed a pencil, so I could draw you up a motivational stencil. Tracing the inspiration, make way for the destination. 'Cause trust me, I can see all of the places that you're headed. And I'm here to let you know you ain't gonna never reach a dead end. Everybody can't reach like, everybody can't dream like, everybody can't be like, everybody can't be like you, everybody can't reach like, and everybody can't dream like, everybody can't be like, everybody can't be like you.
And that was Demi Day with Be Like You. And if you are an independent artist or a spoken word poet or up and coming comedian looking for some exposure, you can go to blastmusic247.com and register for free. But Blast is also looking for the fans of music. So you're also welcome to go to blastmusic247.com, register as the unlimited fan, and have access to hundreds of independent music. Blast, we are constantly changing the industry one artist at a time.
I love it. These artists are freaking dope. I mean, dope.
No, I agree. I get blown away all the time, and I'm rubbing elbows with them all the time, and they're just amazing people.
Amazing. Just the talent out there, you know?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I like that. And I love the simplicity of it. You know, it ain't no glamour or nothing like that. It's just the simplicity.
Yeah.
It's just authentic. I love it.
Love Demi Day.
Yes. Now I'm gonna have to go look that song up. But to conclude, with the conventional loans, your debt to income ratio has to be 43% or less.
Okay.
You have to, because they kind of changed it up a little bit. So of course the minimum down payment is 3%. It just, of the loan amount. But if you have a lower credit score, that can differ. Of course, with the credit history, you can't have any bankruptcies or foreclosures.
Right.
That's a no-no. And your have to, of course, confirm that you have a stable income and employment. So, it's one of those things where it's basically choosing between the different loans. I mean, of course, VA loans are only for veterans or, people that served in the military. And then USDA loans, of course, if you're looking to live in rural areas. But as far as the FHA and the conventional loan, it just really depends on where you are in life and where your finances are in life. If I had to choose between the two, I would choose the conventional.
Okay.
And one of the reasons is that MIP.
That is a deal breaker.
when I logged in to pay the mortgage the week before last, I went in there to check my escrow because your escrow is updated every April. And because our homeowners has gone down, and I did my homestead just barely last year, I wanted to see if there were any adjustments to my mortgage, and it was. And I was looking at my escrow balance because nothing's due until next year, December. The only thing that's due come next month is MIP. And I was like, no.
Dang.
I was hoping to get a refund. I told my husband we might be getting a check back, but that MIP ain't going anywhere. And so I knew better, but I tried it. And they replied back and was like, according to your loan stipulations, I'm on a 30-year loan and you have to have blah, 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 blah.
Now, if you were to do a refinance, that would be the way to quote unquote get out of that type of loan.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes. And I can't. I'm not losing my 3.2. You hear me?
Yeah, you might stick around for that one.
The equity in our home has shot up because of all of the development going on around here. We're in phase 1, but they have a phase 2, they have a phase 3, and they're still building. So when I tell you, if we were to refinance, my kitchen can be gutted out, the house can be pushed back more into the yard. My floors, we can have the whole big old farm in the back. If we were to refinance, that's how much money we would have to play with. But I'm not giving up my 3.2.
Your mortgage would go up too.
Absolutely, the interest.
Yeah, because that's what happened to mine when we refied. I mean, we took care of the debts, but at what expense? At what expense? So that lovely 653 I told you about now it's like $13.95. Yeah. And that was because interest was literally double. I want to say we got 6.75,
Yeah, no, I can't. So it's because again, I mean, I'm talking about I will be up in this house balling. Do you hear me? But I just can't do it with these interest rates, and I can't.
So to recap our checklist, especially for those interested in getting a home, you got to make sure you have your money right. Have between 10 to 20,000 of closing costs. Let's just say we're making an extremely big safety net. Because the plus to that is if there's a whole bunch left over, you can put that towards your house.
Yep.
I was going to ask you on a calculation of debt to income ratio, because I'm the type of person I like to know these things in advance than to have them tell me, what's the formula to figure debt to income ratio?
For one, your open lines of credit.
Okay.
Now you're asking for and Stacy covered this too. She had it on her paperwork. You're speaking in regards to you can only have this much percentage of this much percentage of that. Okay, right. Then I will have to look that up to be exact.
No worries.
But I know that they're looking at the lines of credit that you have open.
Okay.
They're looking at your monthly, whatever your monthly bills, car note, you know, not so much mortgage because that's what you're trying to get, but you know, like a car note and things that you're actually obligated to pay on a monthly basis, versus your so your monthly, your lines of credit, and then, you know, of course, your debt collections, people you owe, you know, the negatives. The negatives, you know, and so like I said, credit cards, that plays a huge factor.
Got it.
Of what, you know, what you owe, because they're looking at it like, where in here are you going to be able to pay me?
Right.
That's what they're looking for. You have this obligation, you have this obligation, you have this obligation. Where do I factor in, and how can I be for certain that I'll get my money?
So let me play a scenario. Of course, I'm going to use me as the guinea pig willingly. So let's say I have 20,000 credit card debt, a $20,000 vehicle. Okay. It is the 2018 $20,000 vehicle. Trust me, it ain't worth 20,000, but it is what it is. Presently have a home, going to sell that home and want to roll whatever I get into the home. Having that $20,000 credit, totally eliminate it, or at least knock it down to 30%. What do you suggest as far as the credit cards?
If trying to apply for a mortgage loan, I would say get it down to 10%.
10%. Okay.
Because yeah, they say 30%. But do practice 30% when you got approved. After you got approved.
That part, yeah.
Practice the 30% after you got approved, but trying to get approved, I would recommend getting them all down to 10%.
Now, being the risk taker I am, what if I was to not take care of the $20,000 car, but even, let's say, half or something, and probably get something newer? Is that too much?
That's too much. Absolutely.
Finish the vehicle. Okay.
Yeah, because more than likely the vehicle, well, for one, they're going to look at the length of time.
Oh, that you've had it. Okay.
So if you have a vehicle that you're on your third year, and they see that you only have a year or two left, you know, it's kind of workable, versus a vehicle that you just started and you got a whole nother 7 years to go.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna tell you, like I said, when I refied, I was able to pay the solar paneling that was on the home, and I paid off a $12,000 car. Just get it. That was the best feeling ever, to no longer have to pay $300 a month just for the vehicle, and then insurance made it another $115. So I was like, I just want to stop the financial bleeding.
Yes, because I wouldn't even say I'm struggling. With my cars, I keep them for 2 years and I trade them in for a new car.
Are you
when that warranty runs out, I'm at the car lot saying, what's next? But
do you lease? You lease?
The first year, like when I went to the Nissan family, which was about 7 years ago, I leased it was 2015, and I leased the 2015 Nissan Sentra. That was my first lease. It wasn't bad. I just got nervous because that mileage, you know what I mean? I was like, ooh, you know, just can't really do much because you're trying to make sure you know, stay within that mileage allotment. But my other vehicles I purchased first owner. And so, you know, just because of the warranties on it and all of that, you know, it just made it a little bit better. But now, like, you know, I'm over it. I've had red because I named my cars. So my Sentra was Aaliyah. Yeah, my Sentra was Aaliyah, black on black. And then my 2019 Nissan Altima, her name was Stella, because Stella got her groove back. And then I traded Stella in for red out there, which is a 2021 Nissan Altima. Which 2 days later, I went back to the dealership. I was like, Marvin, give me Stella back. Go get my car back. Because these new cars today, huge difference from only a 2-3 year span.
Yeah.
Like, huge difference. I was so mad. He was like, oh, Stella already at the auction. I'm like, y'all just don't waste no time.
At all.
They
keep that money moving.
Yeah, they do. So, but I'm over it now. I'm over the car note. I'm over the high insurance. Like, I can go and trade red in right now.
Mm-hmm.
But for why?
Yeah.
I think I got red. I think red is I got a 3.1 interest rate.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. Well, me and the first time it was lower on Stella because my husband was the primary, even though it was my car. And I was mad because, like, it's my car. Like, why he got to be at the top? Why he got to be the primary? You know? So then when we got red, I was like, I'm not doing nothing unless I could be the primary. So this time around, I'm the primary and he under me. I'm over it. I'm over car notes, and I want the Mach-E. You and me and you can go on forever about these cars.
Man, I'm telling you.
But I want the Mach-E, but I'm sick of car notes. So yeah. I think I have 2-3 more years on red. I'm just gonna pay her off. I'm over it. Like, yeah. I take care of my cars, so you take care of your car to take care of you.
There it is.
Yeah.
And I'm mostly in a facility. I don't drive as much as I used to, so I would like to just get a car, pay it off, and when I need it, just ride it, That's where kind of why either all electric is kind of looking a little more and more for me. I don't know about anyone else. I had a hybrid before and I loved it. So I would definitely, after I get a house, I'll do all electric, sure.
Yeah. Here's the crazy part. I want the Mach-E just because it's cold.
It is.
It ain't because, I want an electric car. The Mach-E is just a beautiful creation.
It is.
I never forget one of the first one I saw was in a Home Depot parking lot, and I was like, "Is that a Mustang?" I didn't know what it was. I was just like, "What is that?" And I'm circling around the car. My daughter's like, "Mom, there's somebody in there." I didn't know. Now I'm just circling. I'm like, "Oh!" I'm just circling the car. And then when I looked over, it was somebody in the driver's seat. I was like, "Oops, sorry," but I said, "Come on, they did that." And I got a chance to test drive one. I'm not that impressed. However, the first one I test drove, which was an actual owner, she had it at one of the karaoke spots. I drove it, and when I say that baby can get up, you think a Tesla can get up?
Oh, that Mach-E is cold.
Ooh, I was nervous. I said, "Girl, I gotta let up off your gas. I'm not on your insurance. I ain't trying to use mine." Like,
that
it's
Mach-E
cold.
is cold.
Yeah, it is.
All I know is I sit in a Macan, I'm gonna have problems. You realize that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, she's beautiful as it is, but to get behind one,
gorgeous.
That's another topic, another day.
I keep telling you to go just sit in one and drive it.
I have my business partner, good friend. When she comes in town, she wants us to hit the Porsche dealership. I said, you really started some problems, aren't you? But she's like, no, we got to try the Cayenne and the Macan.
Yep.
So,
yeah.
Boy.
It's going to be a beautiful moment. And sometimes it's motivation. But when I calculate it, let's see, 5, 6, 7. When I calculate almost $900 a month versus maybe $100 a month, I don't want a new car.
I'm with you.
I don't want a new car. I just want to pay insurance.
No, facts. I like I said, my car that I had to trade in was a 2015 Ford C-Max. It's a hybrid. Loved it. If it wasn't for the transmission costing more than the vehicle, I'd still be riding.
Yeah.
I'd still be riding it. If I had the 10,000, I would have fixed it, but I didn't have it.
Right. Isn't that crazy?
Here I am stuck with a $424 a month bill. It's ridiculous. Or 2018 Nissan Kicks.
Really?
Yes.
Is that a Florida? No, I can't even say that's a Florida thing because that's here too.
It's in good condition and everything, but it is what it is.
Yeah, because let me tell you, I turned Stella in to just to lower my car note because we got the house in April of 2021, and I waited, and in May the next month we went and got Stella, and that's another thing, people. Don't go buying nothing when you're in the underwriting process.
That part.
Even if you get a pre-approval letter and you know you're approved and you went and shop for a home and your offer was accepted and all of that, do not purchase anything. You wait until you walk away from that closing table with the keys to your house and then you go. So that's what I did. But I took Stella in to get a lower car note, and my sales guy talked me into Red and was like, "Oh, I'll get you a 2021." And I said, "Look, I'm not here for a new car. I'm here to lower my car note." And I didn't go through Navy Federal. I've been with Navy Federal since 1998, but I did not go through them because I got I've been with Nissan Infiniti since I've had Aaliyah. So of course it was easier to get approved and to just stay with Nissan because I have history with them.
Right.
So but yeah, the only reason why I accepted, I'm a Gemini. Last person you wanna, I don't bite my tongue and hold back, and I don't like being lied to. I don't like salesmen. People think that realtors are salesmen when really we aren't. We are, but we aren't. And I got in that room and he put some numbers on that paper. I said, "That is not what I came in here for." And I politely picked my stuff up and said, "Go bring my car back around this corner. I'm not, because you're not gonna sell me." Right. The only reason I got Red is because my car note was going to be 555.
They hit you with lucky numbers. That's messed up. They've been reading your mail.
So I looked when he slid the paper to sliding it back and forth. He slides it. I said, "Nah, bruh, slide it back." He slides it. I said, No. I said, "No, go get my car. Bring my car back around." He slid the number again. I said, I looked at my daughter. So we in the numbers. I looked at my daughter. I said, "The universe gonna keep us in this car at that 555. You'll always be all right." 555 is a number of change.
No doubt.
So that is the only reason. But again, I'm over car notes. I am. My husband drives. He has a 2001 Chevy Tahoe. That he drives. He don't believe in cars. See, when he met me, it was just like, oh Lord. He from Houston, Homestead, but he a true black country cowboy. Don't like spending money. If it gets you from the corner to where you need to be and back home, it works. He still drives that 2001 Chevy Tahoe. The transmission has been replaced twice. It has over 400,000 miles on it. And he still rolls it like it is a 2026.
I'd probably be the same. And
I just laugh. I'm like, but he don't believe in car notes. So when I got my Stella, when I got Red, he just did what he had to do and he walked away. He was like, "That's on you." And so now I'm at a point in my life where I'm like, you know what I could do with almost $900 a month?
A whole lot.
A whole lot. So speaking of which, that reminds me to go play the lottery today. Today Wednesday, right?
Yeah. Where's it at?
I think it's I don't even know how to play the lottery. Every time I go in there, I let the people do it for me because I'm like, I don't know what to do. I think today is the Mega Million. I think.
Let's see here. Mega Millions is, and that's what's funny is like I could check here and it's the same for you. Well, the Mega Millions was yesterday.
Is that Tuesdays? I thought it was Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Maybe the Powerball. Let me see here. Which one is it?
The Mega Million. Oh, hold on. Okay, so the Mega Million is Tuesdays and Fridays. So you're right. The
I'm trying to find the other one. Okay, Power. Okay, today is 20 million for the Powerball.
Yep.
And then Friday is 47 million.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, shoot, I can work with any of that. 20,
Right.
40. just give me a beat.
The Texas Lotto is today. The Texas Lotto is Monday, Wednesdays, and Saturdays.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm gonna play something. I'm not a gambler. I don't. If I have to play $5 at a casino, that's too much. If I lose my $5, I'm done. That's it. I'm done. Because I'd rather take that money and go over to the buffet and eat something that's going to make me feel like it was worth it.
Right.
I'm just not a gambler.
I feel you.
Yeah. So, but yeah. All right. Well, then I am going to prepare to go into this office today. It's been a while since I've been in, and we're going to make sure that we all have a beautiful, wonderful, vainglorious Wednesday and the rest of our weeks. Thank you, Troy, for joining me today.
My pleasure.
I know you weren't expecting it, and I'm just like, jump in there. And next week, so now we're moved to Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. It's a little bit better. It's harder coming off the weekend on a Monday. I feel like I could be a little bit more prepared. Again, I'm open to suggestion topics. Anything you want to talk about, real estate, life, whatever. I'm open, and I'm open to guests. I'm open to sharing my platform for people in their businesses. I do plan on getting Wendy on here, though. I'm gonna check her schedule so she can dig deeper into the loan process, because she is a lender. Mm-hmm. We as realtors just pretty much know the basics. But when you get in depth, that's when we refer our clients to the lender for more, deeper information. So hopefully I can get Wendy on, and she can, share some knowledge on that process. But I just thank you guys for tuning in. For those that have been tuning in, I thank you for the support. And again, we'll get better and better at this. So thanks for joining Your Realtor and Sneakers. Troy, you have a great day, and see you all next Wednesday.
Take care, everybody.
Thanks.